Get
Deep dive time?
here. A deep dive.
Time for the deep dive. A little segment we like to call Deep Dive, and this game got the most votes. You put 4 games on your Twitter feed.
Right.
And everyone at home gets to vote on what game they want to see. You dive deep into the film, and 49ers.
Dive deep into the film.
49ers are very interesting to a lot of people out there right now.
Yeah.
Both offensively and defensively.
Yes, they are.
So let's start with the 49ers offense versus the Cardinals defense.
Yep.
You look at the numbers for Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's 424 yards, and that pops at you.
Definitely.
I do feel like you've looked at the film. I feel like a lot of that may have been yards after the catch. We're not necessarily going downfield a ton.
Definitely, screen game is a huge part of it. I mean, Screen games or short passes. I mean, you just think about, Richie James. He threw a screen for him for 57 yards. He threw a shallow cross to Tevin Coleman, who I want to say went for 37 yards. Okay, so there's over 100 yards and 2 completions alone where you didn't throw the ball anywhere. And then there was a number of other screens throughout the game, whether it was to receivers, the tight end, Juszczyk, out of his 63 yards receiving, I would bet you at least 20 to 30 were in the screen game, which is Kyle Shanahan. He's phenomenal at that, and that's why they're very hard to defend.
And Deebo Samuel's
a stud.
34 yards, 50 of those came after the catch. So 49ers win this game 36-26. They needed to score.
Yes, they did.
They don't always need to score a ton, but the Cardinals, they're doing some things on offense that we'll look at in just a little bit.
Right.
So the 49ers needed their offense to put up some points, and they were able to do that.
And Jimmy Garoppolo did some really good things. So, I mean, people need to know that. Now, I mean, did he have some bonehead mistakes? Yes, and we'll get into those in a second, and I'll tell you what he did. But either way, he did make a lot of big throws. And, the thing I love about Jimmy Garoppolo is he does slide around the pocket and make some awkward delivery throws, and he's unfazed by what people are doing to him or around him. Yeah, I really give it. He's tough in the pocket. Like, he's not seeing, ghosts or hearing footsteps or doing anything like that. Now, the big thing is this. What we're seeing when teams are playing the San Francisco 49ers, and no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Speaking of ghosts, I think your quarterback, Tom Brady, saw a few yesterday. I think maybe my number 9 was right. But either way, is with
Garoppolo.
With Garoppolo and the 49ers offense for the second week in a row. And this is the Seahawks might have cracked the code here, and this is what I think the Cardinals did. The Cardinals crowded the line of scrimmage. So I think everybody's now going to the 49ers going, we're not going to let this Shanahan run game just expose us. Because once that exposes you, the play actions, the bootlegs, everything starts to go crazy, right? So he's really he was forced, Kyle Shanahan is who I'm saying, to drop back and pass. They were outnumbered most of the time. And that was really the theme of the day, and then came in the screens and the passes and everything. But they ran 3 plays on offense, and they were down 9-0. So Arizona kind of controlled the flow early on with their offense, put them kind of behind the 8 ball, and it got better from there. And really, like I said, the Richie James Jr. screen was really what jump-started the team. They were down 16-0. That got them going, and then they finally started to move the ball pretty much on a consistent basis.
I love to give numbers that back up what you're saying, too. And Tevin Coleman faced an 8-man box 67% of the time.
Awesome.
Most of any running back this week in the NFL.
It was 8 and 9 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage almost every time until the very end of the game when they knew they were going to have to throw it.
Steve Berman, who Bay Area sports guy at the Bay Area, a friend of mine who works for The Athletic now, who said that on his timeline, in a matter of minutes, Jimmy Garoppolo is compared to both Jameis Winston and Joe Montana. It just goes back and forth. It's just like you see one of those interceptions where you say, what is he thinking? How could he do that? And then you see a couple plays later where you're like, oh, that was really good, nice throw, a good read, and everything like that. So, the jury's still out.
Well, the jury is still out. Well, because, the mistakes they're like bonehead mistakes right now, where you just go, what the heck? Now, the first interception, he's throwing like a little curl route to the left side. And I don't think, also, let's take this into account. The best player in their offense is not there, and that's Kittle. So he's not out there. I don't think Emmanuel Sanders was 100% yesterday either.
Right.
But he's throwing a curl. They're up 17-16, and you're going, here they go. They're going to start controlling the game. Arizona was having a hard time move the ball. And really, there's a dropping linebacker, Hicks. He's there, and I don't know what he saw. Now, the one thing I'll say is Chandler Jones came around the edge, and maybe, I can't tell for sure on film, and I couldn't tell on TV, maybe hits his elbow just a little as he's throwing the ball. Maybe. Yeah. And I'm being kind there. I'm just not sure. But either way, that goes right into Hicks's chest, and he has a good return, and that leads to a field goal for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, later on in the game, what happened there is they started to blitz more, and they got a free blitzer off the edge, and I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo realized he was hot, as we say in the NFL world, meaning hot like we can't protect this. There's a guy running free at me, and I got to get the ball out of my hand. And he's throwing a ball down the middle to Dwelly and just throws it way behind him. I think because the blitz caught him by surprise, and he kind of, oh gosh, and tried to rush it out, and he threw it 3 or 4 feet behind the guy for an interception in a really big moment. But thankfully, the defense got the stop, and then let's not forget, he did drive them down there to win the game.
Absolutely.
An 8-play, 65-yard drive.
That's where the Joe Montana comes in. He makes those big plays to win games.
Well, he's certainly not. I don't think he's a guy that's like chokes under the pressure or anything like that. I think he's kind of just free will, and I don't even think he thinks about it much. He just kind of lets it fly. And on that play specifically, they brought 2 middle linebackers for a blitz. They brought the safety up for the blitz, and then they had the defensive ends drop out. And it was just the perfect play call at the perfect time, because then, you know, the Wilson, the running back, end up one-on-one with Chandler Jones downfield. And that's just not a matchup Chandler Jones is going to win. Chandler Jones at first thinks he's running to the flat. He cuts across his face. Jimmy Garoppolo dumps it off, and then bam, game over.
And give him credit, because this is the game after you lost to Seattle in overtime, and you give him every reason to think, okay, here we go again late in the game. We're having some issues. Cardinals have been playing well. Are we going to make a play this time like we didn't against Seattle last time? You did. I do wonder if you've. You know, there have been some questions about the protection that Jimmy Garoppolo has gotten.
This hasn't been great.
Offensive line, you got McGlinchey there. They've had some injuries with Joe Staley.
Definitely.
But they're getting some of the guys back. I don't know if they're back, but are they back?
Yeah.
Being themselves.
Right. Well, Joe Staley was out again, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't in. So there was definitely some issues at left tackle. McGlinchey's not back to playing totally 100% yet either. So he had a few moments again where he got a beat. But I think the big thing overall is teams are just trying to overwhelm the 49ers up front with numbers and people to take away the run game, and then maybe just get in the face of Jimmy Garoppolo. Because why? It's really one of the few things you can do, because Shanahan's scheme is so special that you got to kind of force their hands some way, somehow. And I think that's the approach, teams are trying to take now that we saw Seattle do it last week.
Ross Dwelly played 90% of the snaps, had 2 touchdowns. So they didn't need George Kittle. He got Ross Dwelly.
I think
he had 14 total yards, but
he did a good job, right? He came scot-free on a shallow cross for 1 touchdown, and I can't remember exactly what he did on the second one. Oh, the second one, I can't remember what the hell he did. But either way, it was, a good performance.
It counted.
Yes, it did.
And I was looking at the total numbers and this is kind of interesting to me, because the 49ers rushing yards per game is second in the NFL, but their rushing yards per play is 16th in the NFL.
Ooh. So
they are relying on the run.
So that tells you that probably tells you they're running the ball too much, really.
Their passing game, yards per game, 15th in the NFL. Passing yards per play, 8th in the NFL.
Yeah, that tells you when they drop back to pass, they strike. And that tells you within those numbers, too, that they're probably running the ball a hair too much. But that's what they do. He's going to try to control the clock, do that. And Shanahan's ability to stay patient with the run game is so important to their pass game because of all the play action. One of the things I don't know if you saw in my notes, but just all the misdirection, bootlegs, play action passes, screens, they're unreal.
It's like the rules, plays.
The first touchdown, he totally effed up the rules on the Arizona Cardinals, and that's what he's amazing at. And I really need to do a specific thing to show what Shanahan does to F up rules. But they were playing 3-deep zone, if you're real quick here. 3-deep zone, and what he does is he has the outside receiver run an out route. They're on the, I'm going to say, what were they on? The 4-yard line. So that was the first touchdown pass to Dwelly. He has a 5-yard out route, okay? Then Dwelly is going to run up the field and then to the back corner, so like a flag route, a corner route, right? And then they had the back come out of the backfield to that side. So now the backers see the back coming out of the backfield. You're on the 4-yard line, the corner who's supposed to be playing 3 deep, right? Zone. Well, he sees a guy run a 5-yard out in the end zone. He goes, man, I can't just let him run a 5-yard out and go back into my third and say, oh, well, coach, I was in 3 deep. I'm going back there, right? Then it would have been a touchdown to that guy. So he found the rules of the defense in that specific area and stressed them out to where the corner's in a no-win situation. And I would love to show you the play on film, because when the play's over, the safety's like, you got to go back there. And he's like, you could see, he's like, but there's a 5-yard out right there. Like, I can't go back there.
And then the other player goes, Shanahan. Like
Newman, Shanahan, yes. And that's what I mean by Kyle Shanahan breaking the rules of a defense more times than not.
Can I give a little love to a Cardinals linebacker? You mentioned him, Jordan Hicks. He had the interception, right?
Yep, Jordan Hicks.
2 quarterback hits on Jimmy Garoppolo, 12 combined tackles, second most this week of any NFL player.
Yeah, he's a player, man.
Has played every snap for the Cardinals this season. Played at Texas, so I thought you'd love him for that. So Jordan Hicks, just a little more love for Jordan Hicks, even though people saw him on.
Yeah, and he went to Texas, so
he went to
cool.
Texas.
That's right. Yeah,
but he was cool in your book even before all those numbers I threw out
definitely.
there, so.
Well, he was a baller in Philadelphia before, but yeah. So that play we just explained, just to be clear, that was the code breaker was Dwelly's first touchdown. The second one was the shallow cross where he came wide open. There was like 4 receivers to a side. He came across wide open touchdown. But hey, right now, this is what teams are going to do when they play the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be crowd the line of scrimmage. Let's see if Jimmy Garoppolo can beat us. And he's 1 for 1 right now. And he was very close to being 2-0 in that.
424 yards.
Right.
Tough to argue with that. Are we good?
Yep.
With
yeah,
the
we're
offense
good.
and defense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Take that. Let's move over to the
Take
Cardinals.
That sheet.
Cardinals O versus the 49ers D. So we got Kyler Murray, 24-33, 150 yards. So we talked about Drew Brees not throwing the ball downfield. He was, the second lowest in the NFL. Kyler Murray was the first. So they didn't attack downfield.
Nope.
Maybe the 49ers didn't give him that, but he did have 2 touchdowns. He did run for 67 yards and a touchdown. So even if they aren't throwing the ball downfield, he's super, super dangerous. And I think he showed that again.
Super dangerous. Yeah. I mean, got a big pass interference that set up the first field goal. That was one of the disappointments for them in the game. They get down close, they don't score a touchdown, they have to settle for a field goal in the first drive to go up 3-0. Second drive, they do a great job. Now what they did is, hey, they're outmatched by the 49ers on defense. The Arizona Cardinals O-line's not good, so they went to the short passing game. They went to, hey, let's go out on the edge and get screen passes and get 2nd and 5 and do that. Yeah. And then we'll have a run here and there. And then Kyler Murray ran the ball pretty well in the first half. But once the 49ers got a feel for the attack of what the Cardinals were doing, it slowed down in a hurry from that point on. But either way, I don't care what. Murray is just special. What he does, the Kyler Murray effect is real. And he messes with defenses too, because just like Russell Wilson or Cam Newton in his prime, or we're seeing Lamar Jackson, you're a little limited and a little scared of as a defensive play caller because of his running ability and his scrambling ability, where you don't want to bring crazy blitzes. You don't want to bring some crazy blitz off this edge and it's a quarterback design run that way. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, well, we had all these guys over here and now we only have 2 over here and we're screwed. And there goes Kyler Murray. So his special talent alone gives them an advantage against a defense that is far superior than this Arizona Cardinals offense.
So the only thing holding them back maybe, and they played a superior 49ers, but from throwing the ball and opening up a little bit more, it's certainly not Kyler Murray and his arm strength and his accuracy.
No, he's a phenomenal
offensive line in time.
Yes.
They really don't have the playmaker on the outside.
No, not yet. They definitely don't. They don't have, and you hit it, I think, them all. Plus, they don't have really a downhill run game. They don't. Their team is very horizontal. It's, Kyler Murray running on the edge, Kyler Murray running the edge, screen pass on the edge to the receivers real quick because he can get the ball out of his hands so quickly. When they run the ball with Kenyon Drake, it's usually a horizontal type of run that way as well. Yeah, they just don't have the big hog mollies up front to open up big holes that way. And I think Cliff Kingsbury is still figuring out how he wants to run the football in the NFL. So those are the big things to me. They did a good job early on. I think just game plan-wise, they had a few wrinkles. Kyler Murray was on fire.
You were not sold on Cliff Kingsbury first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, they came in talking a big game.
Right.
Some of that was not them talking. It was, media talking about him, but said that he was going to come in and throw stuff out there that we hadn't seen in the NFL before.
Yeah.
Didn't really see a whole lot of that the first few weeks. I don't know that we're seeing anything that we haven't seen before.
No.
But, do you respect kind of what you've seen from Cliff the last few weeks?
Totally. His offensive playbook's growing. It really is. He's stealing plays from everybody. He's making Kyler Murray going underneath the center. They're doing more and more. Cliff is, I think, he's smart enough to get this. I think that's what he's proven to me to this point, that like he definitely has a future as a head coach, because he's I think he realized, like, oh, my Texas Tech air raid offense is just not going to be enough in the NFL. You know, there's just not enough bells and whistles and tricks and things like that, and different personnel sets. But yes, they're clearly undermanned as far as the talent is concerned. Christian Kirk is very good, but the big thing is lack of run game, lack of really good pass protection, and that would be my one complaint about Cliff Kingsbury so far too. He's got to be a little more intricate in details about pass protection. Too many times they have 5 blockers, the team sends 5 rushers, and 1's free. No, you got to figure it out. You got to be 5 on 5. You can't let one guy. You know, you have 5 blockers and they got 5 rushers. You can't let him get free.
Kyler, just make a miss.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way they, yes. And in the air raid, a lot of times it was throw it quick and get it out of your hands, but it's just not going to work in the NFL that way. So that would be one thing. The one thing that I'm amazed with Kyler Murray more than anything is his fadeaway throws. You know, for a small guy, he is amazing. You ready to jib this, McDonald?
Oh, you're standing up for the first time?
Just one time.
Okay.
Just one time, but...
You waited until John walked away from the jib, but
well,
that's okay.
Yeah, he is amazing at, oh, God, here comes somebody to hit me right in the face. And he sees it, and he knows he's small, so he's not going to sit there and be like Tom Brady and just be like, oh, I don't give a damn, hit me, right? So he does a great job of throwing and kind of going away, going with the hit. So it takes away part of the thump of the hit for a small guy. And it's amazing how on target he is. I mean, he threw a deep cross to Christian Kirk early in the game where, I mean, it was just an unbelievable throw. He had 2 or 3 where he was just kind of fading away, but he's got great arm and hand talent. And, yeah, hey, as the game went on, the 49ers dominated. The Arizona Cardinals only had 99 yards of offense in the second half.
Yeah.
So that tells you a lot right there. You know, the turnover, interception, gave them the short field, and, you know, one drive where Kyler Murray had that great run for the touchdown was really the only thing they did in the second half.
But they should feel good, the Cardinals,
yes, they should.
Of throwing up 26 points.
Definitely.
And getting some guys open. There have been some injuries on the 49ers. They had 4 healthy linebackers. I think they have 4 healthy linebackers. One of those linebackers, give a little love to number 57, Dre Greenlaw. A rookie 5th-round pick out of Arkansas, played over 90% of the snaps for the second week in a row. And so that's kind of the sign of a good defense, right? It's like the Patriots can do this too. You lose some guys in injuries, you can replace them with some inexperience.
Definitely.
And not, you know, they gave up probably more yards and points than they wanted to, but still not break.
No, didn't break. You're exactly right. And they're ferocious on defense still. And yeah, they're banged up. They're going through a little lull right now. Every team does it. Yeah, they're 9-1 still. They found ways to win games when they didn't play their best throughout the year. And I think they'll start to hit on all cylinders once again, especially once they get George Kittle back in the lineup. That will change a lot of stuff for them.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.